redress. Forgive myself for thinking that I am small and less than who and what I am. Divine creation with a simple job. Express my thoughts and feelings with the faith of God. At first I was happy and carefree, then limited thinking ensued, taught to believe that I was not enough. The story became my truth. It's time to stop, redress. Forgive myself for thinking that I am small and less than who and what I am. Divine creation with a simple job. Express my thoughts and feelings with the faith of God. Mindful of all that I say. Words shape the way I see things in the world. Each one's a potent prayer. It's time to stop, redress. Forgive myself for thinking that I am small and less than who and what I am. Divine creation with a simple job. Express my thoughts and feelings with the faith of God.
I reach out and hold on to that hand. I remember that faith walks in, not waiting for an invitation. Hope stands on the outside, looking for her opportunity. Walks in, trusting in her own might. for his opportunity, but faith walks in, trusting in his own mind. Now waiting for an invitation while hope stands on the outside, looking for its opportunity, but faith walks in, trusting in its own mind, trusting in its own life.
Good morning and go Phillies. Welcome to the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Maxine Kaye, and I am the spiritual leader of this wonderful, beloved community. Those here in person, those everywhere, all over the country, all over the world, actually. We're so happy you joined us this morning. This is a wonderful opportunity to connect, to remember who we are, to share our principle that we live with one another, to remind each other how good life basically is. And when we come together in this way and celebrate the divine life within us, which is expressing through all of us, we get lifted up. So wherever you may be in the world, wherever you may be on your spiritual journey, whatever your faith background may have been, or whatever questions or struggles you may have with the idea of our spiritual evolutionary process, you're welcome here, because we're all moving through it together. That's what the beloved community is about. It's about remembering who we are, reminding each other who we are, and walking the road together, in fact, dancing along the road together. So thank you for being with us today. We offer spiritual tools for everyday human experiences, and they are effective. And they lift our hearts, and they clarify our minds, and they make each day sweet in the living, no matter what else may be going on in the world. And there's plenty going on in the world, but this is something that we know. It's something that is the basis of our philosophy. And that is that we are here very much on purpose. We have a mission, all of us, and we're figuring out what that is individually and collectively. But here at the Greater Center, the Greater Philadelphia, don't forget Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living, this is what we are about. We are in the process of awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. What a wonderful mission. What a wonderful, delightful opportunity for us to remind ourselves and each other that, yes, we are having a human experience, but the truth is we are all divine, individualized emanations of God's life. Wow, that's a powerful awareness. And as we help each other awaken to that truth, we begin to resolve the challenges in our personal lives and in the world itself. Because we work together. We work together to make a difference in our lives and in the world. And what we are envisioning now is a world that works for everyone, a world that works for all beings, a world that works for the planet itself. So we have our holy mission. We have our divine opportunity to make a difference in our lives, within our families, our neighborhoods, our workplaces, and ultimately the world itself. And we also have a purpose statement, and we invite you to say it with us if you'd care to. Here it goes. Living, loving, learning, spirituality that works. And now we will have our opening song.
Though the road ahead may not be clear, 'cause I have ears to hear and loving eyes to see. A simple faith is all I need, and I can conquer any fear when I let my own light shine. I can go for what I want when I remember I'm divine. So I will meet what each tomorrow brings with a joyful heart that is ready now to sing. As my spirit guides, I'm gonna trust the lead. A simple faith is all I need. A simple faith is all I need. Oh, a simple faith is all I need. A simple faith is all I need.
All right. Good morning, kids, wherever you are. Would you gather around, please? I want to know if you have been keeping track of the Phillies. There's a reason that your minister is wearing red today, you know. I left my cap at home, but that's okay. You probably have them too, don't you? You probably are keeping track. Are your parents allowing you to stay up to watch these games? And you know, the Eagles are having a game this afternoon. Everything's happening sports-wise, and we are getting excited. Right now, the Eagles are like 1-1, and the next 3 games, I understand, are going to happen right here in Philadelphia. That's a good thing. We like having the games at home. So you play sports. I know that you do. You probably aren't as well paid as the professional sports teams, but you're paid in hugs and congratulations and just having a wonderful time doing what you love to do, whether you win or lose. It's in all how you play the game, right? So they say. It does seem to matter to win, though, doesn't it? It does make a difference. And yet the idea is to do your best. Our Phillies are, boy, are they doing their best. And we keep rooting for them. We keep rooting for ourselves as well, because we move through tense times, even kids like you. Certainly, I was one. I moved through tense times too. I moved through fearsome times where I didn't know what was going to happen next, and I didn't have the confidence that I wanted to have, until one day I saw an advertisement for a flower. I mean, the kind of flower that you bake with. And it was about being, if you use this flower, you can be a can-do girl. And I looked at that and I thought, I'm a can-do girl. You know, you are can-do boys and can-do girls. And the reason that we are able to do what we do, not only to enjoy the game or whatever activity is that we're doing, is that we are God-powered. You are God-powered. Oh, that's kind of a wonderful realization, isn't it? To be aware that we can just get quiet for a minute, take a nice deep breath, and understand that whatever we are doing because we have a conscious intention that we want to do it well and have a good time while we're doing it. And it all comes from that place within us, where the presence of God is always saying, you're a can-do girl, you're a can-do boy. So enjoy the rest of your day, knowing that whatever you're doing it out of the love of life itself. We love you a lot, and we'll see you pretty soon, I think. See you. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And boy, you have a game to watch today for the Eagles. And you know that there's going to be a flyover just before the Eagles game that starts, I think, at 1 o'clock this afternoon. And our neighbor has a son who's going to be leading that flyover. Isn't that exciting? So make sure you tune in early and watch those can-do people do their thing. We love you. We see you soon. Bye. You can go now. Okay, I think it's time for meditation. Shall we have a meditation? And I want to thank in advance the beautiful instrumental that you're hearing now that Frank Henninger shares with us. Let's quiet ourselves and allow something beautiful to begin to emerge from within us as we take a deep, holy breath of life. Oh, feel that spirit swirling around in our bodies, our emotions, and our minds, and then release that breath. And in the releasing, there is the letting go of anything which may have a false idea, a negative feeling, a belief in separation from our source, which is impossible. And continue to breathe in that holy life and breathe out anything that may be a challenge in any way. For the life of spirit underlies every experience, indwells every being, and is alive within each of us now, no matter what may be occurring in the world, within our own lives, within our hearts and minds. The presence of the divine is the context in which all of the contents are now being held with love and power, the power of love and wisdom. And so let us come into our hearts, feel ourselves embraced with the divine embrace, and simply rest, knowing that we are the beloved in whom God is well pleased. Remembering who we are, we realize there is nothing we need to do at all in this moment. We simply allow ourselves to be, to experience the presence of love and wisdom as it flows through us, keeping us in perfect peace, well-being, a conscious connection to Source, and the remembrance that we can never, ever be outside of the life of God. This holy presence, it fills us, not only keeps us in serenity as a sea of tranquility, but also opens our hearts to a greater experience of compassion for ourselves and for others and for the world itself. It opens our minds to the infinite, creative, intelligent possibilities. We are indeed guided by infinite wisdom to choose that which is best for ourselves, our loved ones, and the world itself. There's no place for fear here, not when the faith of God is holding us, guiding and directing us, and keeping us clear. This loving presence now moves out into the world. We realize as we go within to the silence that as the love continues moving out everywhere, covering the planet, that there is nothing for us to do but to let it flow as we sit quietly on the throne of our hearts and simply be. So grateful that this shift has taken place, that we are consciously connected to that divine center of love and wisdom. and that this is what we take with us into our day. So consciously, compassionately, creatively, we move into each precious moment with deep faith and complete confidence, knowing that all is well, that all manner of things are well. And we remain in gratitude. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and pure and free, as I continue walking in this mystery. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am grateful every moment, every day. There may be walls, there may be roadblocks in my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day. And now I know that what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that held me down. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am kinder every moment, every day. And I'm more loving every moment, every day. I will surrender every moment, every day. Oh, that is so beautiful. Thank you. Well, will you join us in our affirmation this morning? No, not yet. Because first of all, I'd like to introduce to you our practitioner of the day, Georgiana Gord.
Thank you, Dr. Maxine, and good morning, everybody. So our theme today that we'll be having a conversation with Dr. Maxine is leave the fear and grab the faith. And it reminds me of a quote from Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor is an author who does a lot of books on success and financing, life and self-help and positive thinking. And there's a statement that has two parts. And the first part is faith and fear both demand you believe in something you can't see. And the second part, Bob says, you choose. Right. So please join me for our opening treatment for today's service. And I'll do this in the first person, so please join me as you wish. And this is all about choosing God. Because there's only one life, one love that is everywhere present. It's God. It has to be only God. God only God. God is all there is. All there is God. There's nothing else. It's impossible because the life of God is the life of the essence of all that there is. And I am so grateful to know that it's right where I am, right here. As I blend into the consciousness of the Most High, I give myself permission to lean into all the qualities of peace and joy and harmony and wisdom. This is the truth that sets me free. And I realize this right now as we move into our service. I realize that fear is false evidence appearing real, and it has no power in my consciousness. The only power in my consciousness is the power of faith. And the faith and the insight, and I'm so grateful for the faith that was put into today's service, with everybody seen and unseen. The faith that is louder than everything and everybody, because it stems from my heart. And it doesn't get much better than this. So I am so grateful for this opportunity to choose faith, to choose God, and to be in this one life that is everywhere present. This is what I know. This is what I claim as I release this into the law, knowing without a doubt it is received, acted upon, and done. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Georgie. Wow. All right. This is the last Sunday of October. So we continue with what our theme for October has been, which is the beloved community. And today is all about, as our dear Georgiana said, leave the fear and grab the faith. Well, Ernest Holmes has a few things to say about that too. He says, to overcome fear is the greatest adventure of the mind of man. We should contact a larger field of faith. This is done by understanding that God is the giver and the sustainer of human life and expression. God is all there is. Wow. Well, Ernest Holmes also speaks of a divine fearlessness. I love that phrase, a divine fearlessness, and that's a great goal for all of us. You see, we can allow that divine fearlessness to come forth through us and to lead our lives in a forward progression. Once we finally move away from the fears and the concerns and the doubts and the false beliefs and come into our true power and walk in divine fearlessness. But it does take an awakening, doesn't it? We tend to live small sometimes. We tend to live with a lot of human race conscious beliefs that might keep us from expressing the larger life that we're here to live until we finally realize and we wake up to who we truly are. Well, I heard once upon a time that little Johnny was bright and capable in every single way except for one thing. He never had spoken a word in all of his life. Well, all the tests showed that he was perfectly normal. There was nothing lacking, nothing missing. And He was a delightful child. He did everything well. He just didn't speak. One day, he was about 5 years old, and his mother served him breakfast. And he looked up at her and said, "Mother, the oatmeal is cold and a little lumpy." "Johnny, you spoke, you spoke. You haven't spoken in all 5 years of your life." Tears of joy and excitement. And she said, why haven't you said anything before?" And he said, "Well, up until now, everything has been just fine." Sometimes, do you notice, we go along and things are fine, they're just okay, and then one day, wham! Something unthinkable happens in our lives. Usually involves a sudden loss. A parent, a child, a son, daughter, a sister, a brother, the loss of a job, the loss of a home, the loss of a court case, the loss of prestige, the loss of respect, the loss of a relationship. We have all those experiences in our human life conditions. That is the time that we get to awaken to what is possible from this moment to the next moment to the next moment, to a greater life than we may have even experienced before. Oh gosh, yes, we have to move through the feelings of it. We have to move through the grief of it. We have to move through the shock of it. And then is when we finally realize, I have within me a loving presence. I have within me a great power, a transformative power. It is the power and the presence of God. It is within me, and it's up to me right now in this moment to begin to envision an inspired future. What can I do from this moment on? How can I review what has taken place in the past? How can I begin to understand what the gifts were that I received from it? The gifts that I gave to those relationships, those experiences. Now I can begin to reframe. I can begin to feel a sense of peace welling up within me, allowing me to start to move in another direction. And to finally, ultimately realize the day will come when I finally ultimately realize that that was a starting point. What seemed so awful, so horrific at the time, was the beginning to a new possibility of a greater life for myself, for my loved ones, and for the greater community as well. There's not one of us who hasn't experienced something that woke us up to, I can't handle this, I need a greater power in my life, and I have it. You know, Ernest Holmes said, all the theory in the world, all the studying in the world, all the books you read, all the lessons that you hear and the lectures that you listen to are not going to make a change in your life until we implement the principle that we embody and that we teach and that we live. It's not until sometimes, it doesn't always have to be that way. Some people just live graceful lives and they never encounter too much of a challenge, but most of us have had such experiences. And then we have them as a community. Look, we have had this thing called COVID for quite a while that we're working to come out of. We've had so many things in the world, the crises, the divisiveness in our own country, the wars, the conflicts, the fears of what's going to happen next. So it's time to address those fears. It's time for us to move into a deeper faith. The world's problems and our personal problems need for us to stop fearing them. It's time for us to recognize them, to face them, not try and stuff them down. Oh, that's not happening. Oh yes, it is happening. Now what's up to us? What is up to us to think, to feel, to know, to do next, to move into a greater space. Face the fears, face the challenges, and face them down, because the faith is bigger than the fear. I love what Zig Ziglar said about fear. He says it has two meanings. One is forget everything and run, and the other is face everything and rise. I much prefer that. Face everything and rise. You see, it's only human for us to question our faith from time to time. But we cannot desert the truth when we need to remember it the most. I'd like to read a longer passage from The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes, because it is his explanation and his take and his inspiration that came from the biblical phrase in John 13 or 14. It wouldn't hurt you to read both. But John 14:1, let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. Jesus' disciples were depressed, having an instinctive sense that Jesus was about to depart from them. They were filled with sadness. It was on the eve of his betrayal that he spoke these words. Let not your heart be troubled. With that calm certainty which has ever been given to the believing. He was not afraid. He had already plumbed the depths of human existence and penetrated into the beyond. He knew that he was an immortal being. Our hearts are troubled over many things, and our mental burdens often become unbearable. It seems at times as though a cup of bitterness were being held to our unwilling lips, with the demand that they drink. Jesus, standing on the threshold of his greatest experience, foreknew that he would turn apparent defeat into glorious victory. From the calm depths of an undisturbed soul, he spoke words of comfort to those of lesser understanding. He told them to believe in God, and because of their belief in God, to believe in him also. Again, he is referring to the individual I as the outward manifestation of the universal I am. We are to believe in ourselves because we believe in God. The two are one. We are to know that passing events cannot hinder the onward march of the soul. The temporal imperfection of the human cannot dim the eternal integrity of the divine. Oh, my friends, let's heed these words. It is absolutely the truth and necessary for us to focus on in order to restore faith where it may have been a little wobbly, where we may have allowed a little fear or concern or anxiety to come in. The temporal imperfection, it is not going to last. The temporal imperfection of the human cannot dim the eternal integrity of the divine. This is an integrous universe. You are a person of integrity. You came right out of the very life of spirit itself. And you and I have those same qualities of spirit that Thomas Troward beautifully expressed. Life, love, light, peace, power, beauty, and joy. We cannot afford to allow ourselves to enter into any kind of victim consciousness because of what may have taken place in our lives. Not only does it impede our happiness and our forward movement and progress, but it can be injurious to others that we blame. A victim consciousness does not belong in a forward-thinking, love-filled, life-filled, wisdom-filled being like you and I truly are. We can't be blaming others. We can't be blaming ourselves. There's no blame. Let's wipe that out right now. Whatever took place, it's done. What we can do is to reframe it in our minds. Again, to find the gifts, to find the appreciation, to live more with gratitude than grief, to move from angst to thanks, to feel that beautiful evolutionary movement, that wonderful sense of the aliveness of spirit that cannot be dimmed. Not at all. It can feel dark at times, can't it? But that's not because the light isn't there. The light is still there. But we've turned our face away from it for the moment, or for the week, or for the months, whatever it takes to move through it, to remember. Remember means to put back together. Remember our unity with that divine presence, where we recall that indeed we are the beloved in whom God is well pleased, and that divine support is there to move us through it. We are never walking through anything by ourselves. Not only are we walking through with our beloved people, our friends, our family, our beloved community here, but we cannot walk alone, because the divine love and wisdom of the presence of God is constantly walking with us. It's just that we forget sometimes. It's been said that we have a forgettery, and we need to remember and bring our memory of the truth back into our awareness. Divine fearlessness. I love that phrase. This is what we're doing right now, entering into divine fearlessness. And it's possible for us to adopt this, and it's possible for us to live more fully from it. Again, we are to know that passing events cannot hinder the onward march of the soul. The temporal imperfection of the human cannot dim the eternal integrity of the divine. We deepen our faith in the divine presence and confidence in the law. Remember, court the presence, direct the law. That's the order in which it has to take place, and it does. When I open my heart to feel the experience and the love of the divine, I am filled up with the awareness that there is one, only one. I am an expression, an individualized manifestation of that one. Unity is the truth. And from that divine, powerful place, empowering place, I'm able to speak my word, and the law receives the word and acts upon it. I can count on it. I have faith in it. I have faith in the presence, and I have faith in the law. Someone once said, there are only a few people who have completely overcome their fears, and they all live in Tibet. You know? We sit in our meditative times, we love it, we feel the pure essence of spirit moving through us, and we also have our work to do and our lives to live out there as well as within here. And we strike that balance, that beautiful balance between filling up with spirit and walking it out into the world. No, we're not going to be on a mountaintop in Tibet, so far as I know. If you wish to, go ahead and write to me, let me know all about it. Oh, what is fear but misplaced faith? We convert the energy of fear to the energy of faith. It is all energy, and it is all our choice, isn't it? We don't believe in two powers, one power. It's God's power. It's your power, my power. It's the power of love. That one power. Because if there were two, one would destroy the other. We know, we are very clear that there's just one power. We misuse it sometimes, way too often. Not you and I, of course, but all of those crazy people out there in the world, right? I think we need to move beyond that. I know we need to, because we cannot fear people whose opinions seem so dangerous that we forget that they also are expressions of the living God. We get to employ our faith by looking through the appearance. Our beloved Master teacher explained that. Judge not by appearances, but righteous judgment, the right use of judgment. And judgment spiritualized is discernment. Let us discern that the loving presence of the divine lives within that person, within those countries, within those politicians, within all that we might fear, judge, have terrible feelings about. It's not going to help. What does help is giving each person and each group safe passage through our minds and remembering to behold the Christ within them all. It never left. It just kind of gets covered over with some of the nincompoopery, right? So we need to see the truth, and we can. We return to the one source, accepting its love and its wisdom and letting it flow through us. We are co-creators of divine, intelligent, creative activity. Isn't that a wonderful awareness? You and I are centers of the living God, and God wants to express by means of each of us. We need to open our hearts and our minds to let that divine flow take place. The law is accurate, it is dependable, it is responsive. And so we have the faith of God. Faith in God is good, but faith of God is better. The faith of God is the way God creates. Let there be, and there is. Let's develop that faith, the faith of God, and have the faith in the law, knowing it is dependable, it is accurate, it is reliable, and it never, ever makes a mistake. It will allow to be expressed in our lives the intention and the belief with which we have set it into the law. So the faith of God is that cheerful expectancy, as Thomas Troward said. It is causative. The faith and the gratitude, we have reason to be grateful as we begin our prayer work, our special treatments, to be filled with faith and gratitude, because faith and gratitude are causative. They're not just nice things to have. They set a new series into motion. And isn't that what we wish to do? Isn't that what we need to do? Isn't that what we love to do? And St. Paul said, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. We start with hope. That's better than despair. We start with hope, and we expand it and deepen it as it becomes our true faith. So let's not be pushed around by our fears, okay? Let us not be pushed around by the fears in our minds, but led forward by the dreams in our hearts. That's a better choice, isn't it? The moment I open myself to the divine presence within me, my fears depart, and I'm divinely fearless. I have every reason to have a healthy expectation of the mist of misunderstandings parting and the sunlight of truth shining through. I have every reason to have that expectancy. We need to learn to become cheerfully expectant. Keep our attention on our intention. Not on anyone's dark forecasting or superstition, but our intention is what we are keeping our attention on. Our intention to live fearlessly, deeply experiencing the faith and the infinite possibilities that exist for us, and using those challenging situations to be stronger, to be more compassionate, to be more understanding, and to be more empowered by the love that is moving us all forward. So I know that I speak my word of power, and I await the results with cheerful expectancy. Will you say with me, I leave the fear and grab the faith.
I leave the fear and grab the faith.
Conditions change as my expectations change.
Conditions change as my expectations change.
God is all I need.
God is all I need.
I face everything and I rise to new heights.
I face everything and I rise to new heights.
And so, my beloveds, beginneth our lesson. Thank you, my amen corner. Now is the time of our wonderful opportunity to give back to our source that gives so abundantly and generously and continuously to us all. I love to share. I love to tithe to our beloved center because indeed it is the closest instrument to my source. And it gives me great joy to share with it, knowing that whatever we give does great work for our center, which is growing and becoming more active in our lives and in the world, but it also returns to us tenfold. So will you take your gift in your hand or in your mind if you give in other ways? And let's say our prosperity affirmation together. I choose to celebrate prosperity. Divine love blesses my gift. It is the acceptance of God as the source of my abundant supply. With joy and gratitude, I share my abundance with this center. In doing so, I am one with the law of circulation. My tithe goes forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. It returns to me multiplied abundantly, and I am prospered. And so it is.
You could go ahead and tiptoe through your life, digging in the dirt, you could stress on the strife, but I'm gonna fly past the worry and the pain today. I'm flying on faith, I'm flying on faith. You could cry all night about the things that you hate, so dissatisfied in so many ways, but I'm gonna find a way to celebrate today. I'm flying on faith, I'm
Hi, everybody. My name is Edie Janik, and I'm happy to serve as the president of the Board of Trustees here at the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living. I am really at a loss of words. I usually come up and comment on something specific that you said, but there was so much, Dr. Maxine. I'm just filled up. And your faith is contagious. I can say that. I can just feel it. It's so encouraging. And a couple things I did manage to write down while you were talking. Faith and gratitude are causative. I love that. Love that. So thank you so much for that impassioned and contagious talk. I'm crying again. It always happens. Happy tears. But yeah, that was really, really, really powerful. So thank you. And Georgiana, thank you for your beautiful treatment. You just get more beautiful all the time. So, about the announcements. So looking back, here's a few highlights from the bot spot from October. I'm not going to read all of it to you, but just a few highlights in the bot spot, and that comes out. It's included in our Thursday information. Of course, November's coming, so we'll have a new one in November. But until then, we keep publishing the bot spot in each of the Thursday info emails. So if you haven't looked at it, here are some highlights. Looking back over the last 12 months, we have strengthened our financial position by reducing our expenses, investing in live stream Sunday celebration production, and focusing on providing opportunities for the community to get together. Classes continue to be abundantly available and well attended virtually. We welcome 3 new practitioners and 2 new members, and this is reflecting back on our previous fiscal year, because we had our community meeting in October, so all of this was shared there as well. And looking ahead, having successfully navigated rather large and unprecedented rocky terrain, we're well positioned now to ramp up to more regular in-person gatherings. And in a moment, I'll share with you the details of our next in-person gathering. It is November 27th, if you want to mark your calendars, and I'll tell you the details in just a second. November 27th. Oh, that's right. Yes, we had a board meeting and we decided the 13th as well. So November 13th will be in person, details forthcoming, and November 27th will be together. So not just once in November, but twice in November. We have exceeded our goal of coming together in person once a month. So in November, we'll be together twice. Thank you. And so financially speaking, we have consistently remained current on all our accounts payable, which is fabulous, quite an accomplishment. Very proud of that. And with the help of our treasurer, Karen Davis, and our AAA team leader, John Zoll, we have the insight needed to plan for the center's next steps in alignment with our current financials. Speaking of alignment and financials, it's IGP season. So that means you will soon receive a communication from us, an invitation to help continue to support on a consistent basis through the IGP, which stands for Intentional Giving Program, the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living. And why is IGP season so important? It is important because it helps us have really good insight to our financial support. And that allows us to plan with confidence that we're not overspending or underspending. We know the commitment of the community to support the center. With consistent financial support, the center will grow and go on to serve not only us, but generations to come. That's why we invite you to invest in it by participating in the program to the degree that works for you. The key is consistency, right? So wherever you're comfortable in terms of your giving, if you are able to make that commitment through the IGP program, through participating in the program, then that makes it a consistent resource that will help us to have insight. And it also is consistent participation in the flow of prosperity, which is beneficial for everyone. So every committed donation is one that helps us effectively manage the center's finances and confidently plan for the future. We thank you in advance for your thoughtful commitment. And for those of you that participated in the 2022 IGP, thank you for meeting your commitment before the new year. Thank you, thank you. All right, so we mentioned that we are coming together in person. We are committed to having at least one, and it looks like we'll be able to have two going forward each month, in-person Sunday celebration. We will have one in, I don't have the address right now, but it's the Eagleville. It's where we had our community meeting. Well, on November 13th, we will be meeting in person at Rick and Suzanne Smothers' building in Interprod building. More to come on that. And then Sunday, November 27th, is at a different venue. At the Hyatt House in King of Prussia. So that's November 27th. More details on our events calendar, which you can find on our website, cslphilly.org. Go to the calendar, you can click on the date, and then you'll get all the details, and you can register so we know how many people to expect. So that's quite helpful. Reverend Mike's Science of Mind textbook group continues each Saturday at 9:45 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We invite you to jump in any Saturday. It's a fabulous experience. You just need to let Reverend Mike know so that he can send you an email with the link to the Zoom meeting that they use for gathering. If you're watching us and enjoy our Sunday celebrations and love notes on our Facebook or YouTube channel, please be sure to like, to subscribe, and to share with others. When you subscribe, you'll receive notices of when our Sunday celebrations and daily love notes are uploaded. Okay, I think that's all for today. I think I covered everything. So thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Yay, thank you. Thank you. We share everything here, even microphones. That was fun. Thank you so much. We're going to have a closing song now. You ready to go out with a musical beat? Well, here it comes.
Have a little faith in yourself. Have a little faith in me. I believe in my soul, everything is gonna work out. If you'll just have a little faith, just a little bit. Sometimes that's all it takes. Ooh, 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 ooh. Look up in the sky, try to find the North Star. There it is. Just think about alternative. We've really got no choice. So be still, my child. Listen to your little voice. 'Cause all the rest is just noise. Have a little faith. Have a little faith in yourself. Have a little faith. Have a little faith in me. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. I believe in my soul. Everything is gonna work out. I believe. I believe. I believe. Just have a little faith. Have a little faith. Just a little bit. Sometimes that's all it takes. Ooh, 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 ooh. Have a little faith. Ooh, 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 ooh. That's all it takes. Ooh, ooh, ooh,
Thank you so much for being with us today. As we go forth today, it is with divine fearlessness, facing and transforming every experience into the light of Christ that is shining so brightly wherever we walk. All is well, and we give great thanks. And so it is.
Yeah.